It's been 5 days since I've seen Sinners. I saw it on Tuesday, matinee, in IMAX, and it's been so widely accepted and praised for all the obvious reasons. Obviously, the way that it's shot, the way that it leans into themes and motifs, the way that it is composed for the sake of culture in relation to story, and really how Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler constantly continue to push their collaboration forward in terms of craft and medium for the sake of cinema. And for me, really, the reason why Sinners has stayed so fresh in my mind, obviously because of the zeitgeist and Ludwig's contribution to cinema, again, as one of the more prominent composers in the field today. Together forever. I find that, by the way, I don't think many people talk about Ludwig, and I feel like he's such a romantic. There's something about the way that he romanticizes cinema, or he's cinematically romantic, however you want to say that, I'm not sure. But he did this on Oppenheimer too, which is my favorite score from Oppenheimer is Meeting Kitty. And then my favorite piece of scoring from Sinners is Alone Together. Or it also could be, with Elijah and Annie. But there's something that Ludwig gets really to the core of when it comes to like romance on an epic scale. Like there's something about romance for the IMAX that he just gets to so brilliantly in a way that, very few people. That's why he's up there with me as far as him and like Nicholas Bertel, and I mean obviously of Hans Zimmer, but those guys who know how to inject emotion into score and into cinema and into these pieces. It's so beautiful. And on the other side of Sinners, I think I was resistant for so long because it was like everyone's like, "Oh, this is Ryan's first original," and I don't know why my head immediately went to, even from the beginning and the initial trailers, the initial thoughts of all this. I was like, "It's so what is this like the Black from Dusk Till Dawn?" And people be like, "Oh, that's such a reductionist type of thing," but it's like I think the reason why I've softened on that and I've allowed it to be what it is, irrespective of that or respective to, because even with the things of, grapplings with faith and two brothers who are thieves and criminals who are on the run heading south, one Sinners being Chicago to Mississippi, Dust Till Dawn being going down to Mexico, and there being an Asian American adopted son who is playing the guitar because he loves the blues. Didn't think caught that, but I did. Um, all of that aside, and I had to arrest that because that movie from Dusk Till Dawn is something I saw that when I was a kid. So that came out in '96. I saw that when I was a child, and I wasn't really scared of it. I mean, it did affect me, and like it was very effective. And later became silly when I look at it now. Some of those parts of, playing a corpse guitar and things of that nature, and some of the little quips and whips that he has. And Rodriguez, as a director, is just someone who likes to have fun. But I then had to say, you know what? We're allowed to have these things. Black filmmakers, um, you know, non-white filmmakers are allowed to have their take on a piece of property or a piece of an idea. And I think where I was initially resistant to that, I had to then quell and say, yeah, but for all the reasons why you would want to make, in this case, a black version of, Kugler totally leaned into what would make it distinguishable outside of that initial comp or comparison of the Black from Dusk Till Dawn. And cinema is something that allows so many motifs and explorations and techniques to draw out culture visually, that he was able to make something. It's like, okay, if it is going to be black, how do you do it? And making it something that is a period film, making it something during the era of the Depression versus something that would be more modern day, almost allows you to take it more seriously because Ryan's understanding, he's I've always known that his cinematic language, his language for conveying through the lens, literal lens of the camera, for the sake of film and screen and audience. Obviously, everyone speaks about the themes of culture and the themes of identity and themes of community, and the fact of that the stagnation of resisting change and resisting progression is essentially vampiric in nature. a soul that's trapped, a soul that doesn't get to move on, a soul that dies, basically. And it's not about being a particular color of that vampire. It's more about the status and state of a vampiric being is one that has to suck and draw the life out of something that is truly living, something that is moving forward versus something that is stuck and fixed in an arrested state of development and, dare say, of culture. And so they're always in movies, you have these vampires who have to suck the blood of someone new to gain the access of the culture of whatever time they're now trying to ingratiate themselves into. And so, and for all the scenes that people talk about, and the one scene in Sinners that is rather, I would say, it's an interesting swing, right? And one that, for the sake of making movies, if you don't do something that transcends um, motif and subtext for something that could be, characterized as literal for the sake of a visual medium, then what are we doing it for? Is that there's so much emotion in this film. It's such a romantic film, on in the sense of they're these characters, these people who have something to lose. They're almost always entirely a spouse or someone of a love interest, and I found that to be, and where Ludwig would really insert those temperaments and moments of scoring to be like, this is heart, this is emotion, these are lives, these are things that people are fighting for and risking and scared of losing, and those are the moments where I really, God, am I just like I mean, am I a hopeless romantic? I'm always trying to find the romanticism in cinema. Every character had someone to lose, and I really, uh, every of the main characters, there were essentially like three main couples, and everyone had somebody, and I really felt that in the stakes of this, like this, you're wanting to be together, and that it's doing really well. Whenever there's emotion on an epic scale, on a cinematic sort of scoring, it just really hits me. I mean, what can I say? I'm a romantic. What do you want me to say? I'm saying it now. I'm a romantic, and I like it. And when movies show it, and movies lead with heart and across genres, I'm a sucker for it. So guess what? Sorry, not sorry. But yeah, I'm not going to rate this film. I don't know if I'm going to rate films. I don't know if that's what I want to do. I'm a filmmaker, so I'm really just trying to speak to what I like to see, and what seems to be giving positive notes to the future and current state of filmmaking and the industry and cinema. And you shouldn't need somebody else's um, endorsement. I think this movie is speaking for itself, and literally the zeitgeist is speaking to and for it as well. Go see it on the big screen. I saw it in IMAX. Sinners. That's all. And until the next movie.